All Points Baptist Mission is a local church mission ministry of Calvary Baptist Church under the leadership of our pastor, Dr. Don Snow.
My name is Pastor Don Snow, and I pastored the Calvary Baptist Church for the last 37 years in New Philadelphia, Ohio.
All Points Baptist Mission is an extension of the vision of the late Dr. Gary Forney, as he had a burden for local churches to send missionaries to the unique field of the Arctic.
Brother Forney talked about how we needed to put some missionaries underneath the local church.
It was my privilege in 2004 to come alongside Dr. Gary Forney and our pastor, Dr. Don Snow, to form All Points Baptist Mission.
All Points Baptist Mission assists local churches in several areas. First, in the exhortation and education of the great need for missionaries around the world.
As field director for All Points Baptist Mission, we travel to visit churches to promote the need for more laborers in the Lord's harvest, as well as recruit new families for All Points to assist. We also help with the ongoing training of new missionaries, make frequent trips to visit our missionaries on the field, and also host retreats to be a help and encouragement to our missionaries.
Once that missionary feels the call and leading to a specific field, then we assist the local church in the training and education of that missionary. Our Advanced Missionary Chaplain Training School assists the missionary on deputation issues, pre-field ministry, and then clear through to a successful on-field ministry for many years.
My name is Chris Scholl, and my family and I are the first Baptist missionaries in the country of Greenland. We've been serving on the mission field since 2005, and All Points Baptist Mission has been with us every step of the way. First, it was Dr. Forney, who was there for us when we were new and inexperienced on the field. And today it's Dr. Robbie Morrison and Brother Dave Loop who are there to help us with any needs that we have and to encourage us.
I thank God for their transparency. The leadership have shared many times the mistakes that they have made in the past when they were missionaries. Also like the fact that they don't charge any fees for their services. They leave it up to you to give what you feel that God lays upon your heart to give for the ministry.
So All Points has been a huge blessing to us. We started early on in the process looking for a ministry that was going to not take the authority from our local church, and that was a big deal for us. And All Points very early on has made their position known. They fill a very needed role for us, but also for our local church. And they have been a blessing to our local church, to my pastor, and to the staff there at our church. And so it's nice to be able to be partnered with a ministry that has a clear understanding of the role that they play in our ministry.
My wife Jennifer and I came to All Points Baptist Mission in 2009. We were looking for a mission agency that aligned with our philosophy and doctrine when it came to a strong emphasis on church planting and the authority of local churches. But we found in All Points Baptist Mission, and especially the leadership, so much more than just a practical help for finances and taxes and practical training for mission field. We found really a family, and especially with the leadership and Brother Robbie Morrison, just having someone that we could call when we went through the struggles and the difficulties that we did being missionaries.
My name is Andy Sharpetta. My wife Trista, my kids surrendered to God to go to the island of Vieques, Puerto Rico to be missionaries and start the first English Baptist church on the island of Vieques. Our choice to join with All Points Baptist Mission was God-led. And as we know, all the things that they help with, I was surprised when I found out that we were going to need them for something even more serious one day. In 2017, in September, we experienced what is known as Hurricane Maria. 3 weeks after starting our church, we were hit with this hurricane, not knowing what to do. 3 days after the hurricane hit, we still had not made communication to our family, our friends, our supporting churches, or our agency. I found myself on that third day on the mayor's office there at City Hall with a satellite phone that someone else had. And I prayed to God and I said, God, I need to get on that phone. I need to get our whereabouts and our safety out to our family, friends, and supporters. God allowed me to have wisdom enough to know who to call. And I called Brother Robbie Morrison with the All Points Baptist Mission with that one phone call. And within 30 minutes, Everything about our situation, our health, our needs, our desires, where we were in our ministry was disseminated to hundreds and hundreds of churches, not even to mention our close family and friends and our pastors. I'm so thankful for All Points Baptist Mission, not what they just do every day of the week and the months that come, but even when we get into an emergency situations where it's life-threatening, we know who we can call and who we can count on to help us through those very hard times.
The ministry then continues with the missionary with monthly Zoom meetings for education and exhortation and prayer with the missionary, for visits personally to that missionary in his field of service. And we are now hosting regional retreats for missionaries to come aside for a time of refreshment and reviving in their lives.
It's so important to have someone, more than just an agency, have leadership that cares about you, that you can call and that prays for you and just genuinely cares for your soul.
Our desire is to have a committed connection to our missionaries, as well as keep in constant communication with them for the cause of Christ.
In 2006, God allowed All Points Baptist Mission to extend its ministry to the local church when we were approved to be an ecclesiastical endorser of military chaplains. A man called out of a local church now to be a chaplain in the military can be endorsed and supported by All Points Baptist Mission.
Our role here is, as an endorsing agency, is to put young men into the chaplaincy as their endorser. We have the Department of Defense's approval through Calvary Baptist Church to put them into the military as chaplains. We recruit chaplains. We provide training for them and support. I visit them on their bases where they're located and provide encouragement as well as observance of what they do. And the ultimate goal is to make sure we get the gospel of Jesus Christ to every soldier, sailor, airman, Marine in our military.
Well, for me, All Points Baptist Mission is more than just an endorser, but it's really like a family. Having the support, whether it's through prayer support, emotional support, encouragement, mentorship, these are the things that All Points has done for me and my family. Being with All Points Baptist Mission, even before I was a chaplain candidate, coming in and learning from senior chaplains, learning what it means to be a military chaplain.
According to the DoD regulations, a chaplain endorsed by All Points Baptist Mission cannot be forced to violate our faith practice.
They are advocating for the chaplain, for not only their commanding officers and their commands, but also with the Department of Defense.
They give me confidence that I know I can be an independent Baptist chaplain in the Army and stay true to my biblical convictions because they represent me to the Armed Forces Chaplaincy Board. There's nothing that I can be called upon to do or expected to do as a chaplain that would violate our faith, that would violate our biblical convictions and standards.
We then extend that ministry to that chaplain with on-base visits, personal contacts through monthly Zoom meetings, and a continual educational process to keep the chaplain sharp and prepared for his military ministry.
The calls, the texts, the phone calls, the emails, so many different things are ways that we stay in touch with one another that really provide that sense of accountability. Accountability goes both ways, and that's the part that I love about it, because they are accountable to us as we are accountable to them.
All Points Baptist Mission then extends its ministry to the next generation of the servants of God through the Heirloom Seed Project, which is designed specifically for ministry kids. We have monthly Zoom meetings, yearly retreats, and personal visits on the field to minister to the next generation of the servants of God.
Our goal and our desire, our heart really through that ministry is to help the teenagers and the young adults of missionary families, military chaplains' families, and just young people who are involved in full-time Christian ministry. We find so many times these young people struggle with the problems and pressures that often come with ministry, and certainly they are a target of the devil. We just want to come alongside parents and families and help them to help their young people navigate the transitions and the struggles they go through, especially in those critical teenage years and those young adult years.
All Points Baptist Mission's privilege is to serve local churches around this country as they send their special servants to their specific field of service for the Lord Jesus Christ.
Here at All Points Baptist Mission, we offer an internship program which allows a Bible student or anyone interested in missions to visit the mission field and experience what it's like to be on the mission field. Our prayer and our desire is that through that experience that God would call more people to the mission field.
We started with nothing and now have over 80 families preaching the gospel on most major continents of the world and to the military of our country, and it's our privilege to serve at All Points Baptist Mission.
I highly recommend All Points Baptist Mission. They're not just our mission agency, but they're also our family.
Pray for All Points Baptist Mission as we endeavor to continue this needed ministry to missionaries and chaplains around this world.